Let's go, girls.
And it's me and the guitar. I'm playing the guitar.
Yeah.
I'm making the face. And I'm like Shania. Like I'm like.
Yeah.
What you guys don't see because it's audio only is you hear me mouthing 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I got a comment on one of our YouTube videos, and this person was like, "Hey,
Shania Twain commented."
No. Like, would you like? Couldn't it'd be really? It'd be much better if you guys did video too, because I don't know who's talking, and it's hard to keep up. That's not gonna happen.
No.
And
if it is, you're gonna.
It's not.
You're gonna hear a familiar. You're gonna hear a familiar sound in like a Walmart on the other side of the aisle.
The person who talks super fast is Jess.
Yes.
The one who's kind of like that's Piper.
Yes.
That's Chris.
And Chris and Gary. Spoiler alert, are the same person.
No, Gary is actually Jess.
No. Yes.
Gary's Jess.
Yes.
Jess and I, our cadences are very different.
For sure. And also, I only put it on YouTube so my mom can listen because she doesn't know how to work any podcasting. So anyway,
yeah, but I don't listen.
Of course.
I don't blame people for. It's not that they're lazy. Some people just have a preferred method, and if they're archiving all their favorite shows and stuff like on YouTube, it's not like they're weird for wanting that. Like YouTube is huge.
Of course, but like when we started this, it was always going to be just audio only.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be on camera. I don't like. If you're really curious about what we look like, we do have social media. You can find us, on It's Just G on Twitter. It's Just with one S, or just Jess 86. On Instagram.
Yes.
Piper's on there too. Chris is everywhere.
Yeah.
You can see my face.
You can, yeah.
But I think maybe I should do things where like maybe you next interview you schedule.
Should I have
I dress up like you. No, I dress up like you. And I show up.
That's a beautiful idea.
And I'm like, hey guys, it's Jess.
No, I want half your face to be me, half your face be Piper. So it's like you just turn it.
I would say
this
classic other sister, but that would imply one side was me, probably.
No, we just have plastic bags over our face. Just
Piper, no, it will die.
That's for the BTK episode.
Okay. We almost did that today.
Oh
too,
my
actually.
goodness!
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But there's a couple things I want to bring up right away.
Yes.
One is womp womp. Yolanda, you're staying in jail, and I love that. We were almost did Selena, but I'm like, that story it's just so sad.
She texted me the other night.
Yeah.
Last night. And was like, Yolanda got denied parole. And I was just like, yay! And I sent like 18 celebration emojis.
Yeah,
it is really.
She is not eligible again until 2030, but
I hope you rot in there.
I feel the same way about her that I do those doctors that we were talking about right before you.
What doctors?
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
The shaky-handed Moyle from Seinfeld.
But also something else I wanted to bring to the table.
Are you really bringing it to the table?
I'm really bringing it to the table.
Aww.
Oh, she's getting up. Guys, I'm going to give you a play-by-play. She is now walking over to the punching bag, the heavy bag. I think she's about to do a couple rounds.
Oh.
She's got a lighter.
I'm nervous.
I think she's lighting a fire, guys.
I'm nervous.
It's a Tesla. She's burning a Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
I didn't think she had it in her. That's crazy.
I love Tesla burning.
I saw a guy that like wiped his shitty fucking. He like stuck both his hands in his ass crack, and he was wiping it on people's cars. I thought that was draconian. Oh my God, who's turning 12? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. No, it's Piper's birthday. Happy birthday to. Now you can't. Oh yeah, put it directly over the laptop.
It is like sinking into the cake. So I need you to make a wish. Woo! Our little Piper.
Thank you.
The baby of Coffee and Scream will be 21 years old by the time this episode drops.
Yup.
And
her first DUI coming up real soon.
No.
As her work mother and pod mother.
Yes.
I had to do something.
I went
porch pirate.
I went
extraordinaire.
around.
We will cut this open a little bit.
Is that tiramisu?
Yes, I got tiramisu. That's.
I don't think I've ever had that.
That's why I asked the other day. I said, because I'm like, I need to find out what to get for her. I'm like, so everyone was standing around the counter at work, and I go, if you could have one dessert for the rest of your life, what would it be? And like, I think Mason was like, I'd have cookies and cream ice cream. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
precious,
Oh, shit.
adorable.
That's real.
And I think I said brownies, and then Piper's like tiramisu.
I'm telling you,
Like,
Mason is
yes.
probably, and shouts out to Mason. He's probably the coolest guy to be around Christmas Eve.
Oh my god,
Dude, he
childlike
knows the,
wonder.
Oh, yeah.
the childlike wonder, the treats. He probably is like, you know, dude, you want to watch Cat in the Hat? I'm like, that's not even. But yes, it's not even Christmas. See, on Christmas Eve, guys, when I'm wrapping presents, I watch things like
And I got a
Saltburn and
present.
fucking Tank Girl.
It's just a little something from your mom and dad, meaning Chris and I.
Aw, thanks.
Oh my god, it's just a bunch of paper, isn't it?
Oh no, yeah. It's
Oh,
just
fuck
Oh,
yeah.
we got
More
flips.
pretzels.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Albert Fish is my Albert Fish for mayor. What is? No, you didn't. Please tell me that's full of baby oil.
Travelers.
a half pint of top shelf vodka.
Are we taking a birthday shot?
No,
We're not taking a birthday shot.
no, she's
because you'll go blind.
she's not 21 yet.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm
We
gonna
have
use
24
this
hours.
to make penne vodka sauce.
Please
That's
do.
what, yeah, that's what that
Please
place
do.
near us does, and that's pretty
Yeah.
fucking good.
There's also another surprise little treat in there.
Just go extra on the garlic.
Little treat.
Mm-hmm.
Kit Kats.
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Yeah,
Why haven't they made Kit Kats that are shaped like cats?
it's a beautiful
What
question.
a like great.
Mickey,
I mean,
these
tell
are
me
not
about
for you.
marketing.
Yeah,
Speaking of cats, look at this, Mickey.
the one thing is just because in order to fit in our town, you kind of need to have it.
Okay.
You'll see.
Oh yeah, chocolate Twizzlers.
Hershey's Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Those things are still super bizarre. It's like one of the most interesting desserts I've had.
They're iconic. You have
Yeah,
to
no, they're
have
good,
them.
but they're just you don't.
And
do what
then
you'd expect them
because
to
you
melt.
are,
Cherry Twizzlers.
yes,
Did we ever do a
Yes,
poll
and
about
they're
that?
The pull
We
apart
sure
ones.
did.
They're the pull apart ones. I love the pull apart ones because I'm a little weird and I like to equate things to other things.
I love an interactive snack,
This simulates eating cable wire.
and that's fun, right?
Yes.
But there's no shock involved.
it's like
The only
how-
shock is that, oh my god, there's so much
I
flavor
like to
packed
make
into these
bracelets
Twizzlers. Not a sponsor.
and then eat it off my wrist.
Like a-
Oh
like a lime
my
shot?
God. A shot of Fireball.
This is. Dude,
I need you to be,
The town medicine.
yeah.
Yeah. Bay Tucky.
You got to know what you're dishing out.
No, that's for real. Think
And
about it.
then
And then she starts going into like a deeper depression, like a
Like,
super
oh,
deep
no!
depression.
Here's a card.
What have I been giving people?
Okay, I almost wrote on the card and labeled it. You'll see.
It's okay. I see.
And make sure you read it aloud for the class,
Yes.
slowly and concisely.
Yes.
Every word counts,
I always do.
especially on a birthday.
I almost wrote Devin on the cashier.
It says, "Can I see some ID, miss?" Yes. Oh, gift card.
No, all right, we're gonna bleep out our place of business.
Buy right.
Oh, how nice. Happy 21st birthday. We love you. Love Jess, Chris, and Gary.
I didn't write that.
So now your box
I
of
wrote
goodies
fuck
that you
you.
have stashed, you can
Yes.
put that towards it.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you. It was so funny because on Thursday at work, I turned to Jess and I'm like, I kind of want to go around and like put together a tiny box for myself so I can buy stuff on Saturday.
Yeah, she wanted to know what she
And-
was buying.
Yeah.
She was buying 4 bottles, if you can believe it, of olive juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then
All the chips.
margarita salt, all the chips. Out of code, mind you.
Yeah. Some Slim
Some
Jims.
Slim Jims. And then a blank card from Rondell.
Oh my god! You guys don't know, but
It wasn't blank to me.
it was.
You know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I wonder what
We have a
nothing
customer.
is.
We have a customer every holiday gives us a card but writes nothing in it.
What do you say on Christmas? I mean, think about it.
No,
It's
but the
fucking
best
brilliant.
is like sometimes the cards don't even match the season.
No, it's like a seagull.
One time it was, I'll never forget, it was New Year's Day. And he goes,
Okay.
I'm going to get a card for you guys. And we're like, all right.
Man of his word.
He is. And he came back with a card and it was a cat cartoon, like doctor. And he goes, he's like, I hear you're not feeling well. I think you would recover faster, meowie. And I was like, but nothing was
So
written
beautiful.
inside.
That's
Nothing
come
was.
on.
He's a doll.
What do you say?
He's a doll.
One time he gave me a Christmas card and like, you know how like cards are already folded?
Of course.
He folded it backwards.
He folded it another way. Dude, it's like the did you see the I think you should leave bit where he goes for the job interview and he goes to pull the pull the push door?
Yes. And And like
trying
the
to,
look on
like-
his face just like shaking.
I was here earlier. It goes both ways.
And I'm like trying to figure out like why this card feels so weird. And I notice it. I'm like, it's backwards.
You ever like rub your
what in
shoulder
the world?
and then realize your seam is inside out?
Ever rub a
Yes.
cat against the grain?
Every morning. And every night.
Yeah. Okay. What were you saying before we started? You're like you were gonna tell me something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a fan of the drink.
Mm.
I'm a fan of the party.
Sure.
I'm a joker.
Right.
I'm a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, apparently 74 years old, shoved over 40 Zyn tablets.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, to cover your ears. Children, if there's children.
Zyn
in the room.
tablets. What is it? What
A
is that? Is that the tobacco, like the nicotine?
Yeah, it's like a nicotine pouch. No
Okay.
tobacco involved necessarily.
It's the
in
thing
the
that
pouch.
like cops have been like.
It's like fucking
Okay.
aquarium rocks.
Sure,
You
sure,
put it in
sure,
an
sure.
aquarium. This guy shoved over 40 Zyn tablets, Zyn pouches, up his ass
Have you ever
and in his,
tried this
in his
one?
foreskin. Huh?
Is it? Have you ever tried this one?
That's
Why does that sound
crazy.
familiar?
Sabrina Carpenter, like out doing the sex
Oh,
moves. Have
her
you ever
Zyn-
tried
Her
this?
Zyn
Oh
pose.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's her Zyn pose.
Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't.
all right.
But yeah, he shoved. Apparently, 74-year-old man shoved
Why would he shove them up there?
a buzz.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but
I
that-
mean, he's got to like what? That's not. Like,
That's-
is that dementia? Is
that's
that neglect?
excessive.
It's almost like neglect.
how many come in a pack?
Not 40.
So he-
something. So he went. He
So
got.
he bought multiple, and the person's like, "Oh wow, that
Yeah.
should last you." And he's like, "No."
What if he was like on the phone with a scammer and he told him to go to the store and get like a bunch of Google Play cards, but he bought the wrong thing and then he was trying his best.
Or what if like Dr. Oz is like, you shove a bunch of Zen pods up your ass and it'll cure you? Well, I
It'll,
could sue
it'll
for that.
cure your fibromyalgia.
That'd be
Yeah,
fine.
for
No,
real.
you can say Dr. Oz, like Donny Osmond.
Oz, not Osmond.
No, Dr. Osmond.
Dr. Osmond.
Dr. Osmond in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
That is-
HD. Or what is it? What is it? House MD?
Yeah.
Yeah, MD.
I
at the
love
end.
House MD.
Dude, Hugh Laurie is a treasure. You ever listen to his jazz music, Hugh Laurie?
No.
He's
My
good.
dad sent me a text message the other day and was just like, do you just want cash for your birthday? And I sent him back the House MD gift where it's Gregory House and he's just like, duh. Like,
Now, what's the story with like he was in like a motorcycle crash or some shit, right?
That's
yeah,
Gary
yeah,
Busey.
yeah.
You know what?
Oh my goodness.
Who told you that? I crashed the bike. The bike didn't crash me. Let's get something straight.
No, okie dokie.
Canada Dry.
That's crazy
That's
work.
what I'm going to call you. Canada Dry. Canada so dry.
He's getting sick. He's getting so sick over that.
He's like,
Crashed my fucking bike. You crashed your bike. I was in lethal weapon.
Jesus Christ.
I talked about that to and I was saying how in the movie there's a scene where he's acting all tough and he's supposed to be some kind of mercenary and they have a lighter under his arm, right? And then he's like just sitting there stoic. It doesn't face him.
Sure.
And then cut to the scene 25 minutes later where Mel Gibson's hanging up, covered in water, getting shocked with a car battery. And Gary Busey touches him and gets shocked and like reacts and recoils like he's in pain. And I was like, what? Go back and watch Lethal Weapon, guys. You guys, and hit us up.
Would he not be shocked?
Yeah, but he's supposed to be Mr. Tough Guy. Big lighters don't bother me. Why would a fucking car battery bother him? It's kind of
Very
out of
true.
character.
Do you want to go outside
Gary?
and try?
yeah.
Oh
Let's
no,
reenact. Let's reenact.
I understand. But yeah, but I would do the same thing with the lighter. I go, ow.
I mean, yeah, I would
I go,
too.
jeez.
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 Like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite.
But
Oh yeah, speaking of Zins up somewhere where they don't belong.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard there's a. I read a synopsis of today's
Thank
episode
you
on
again, by
IMDb.
the way.
You
Oh, happy birthday,
are
by the
so
way.
welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I almost airdropped it to you, but I didn't.
I feel so old.
I don't want to hear that at all.
She doesn't.
At all.
And I wouldn't tell people what you don't like because, they're going to know. Our fans out in Turkey, they're
I
going
am
to
a
capitalize.
38-year-old teenage girl. How dare you?
38 years young.
38 years young.
She will be a teenage girl until she's like 75. Like,
Or
But-
until there's like a war.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Our soil.
I know.
And everyone's gonna turn 70.
I
suddenly.
like being 38. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like Nick Miller said. I feel like I'm growing into my personality.
It's
Think
not
about it.
old at all.
It's not.
Think about it, was it like about 200 years ago? Wisdom teeth would have fucking killed you or some shit.
For sure.
Yeah. So think about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to live another life.
Yeah.
In my opinion, 20, you're 18.
She's legal.
Gross.
Gary.
Good God.
Gary, I'm kidding.
All right.
It's,
Well,
it's the accident.
tonight we do have a pretty big story to unfold.
An interesting one.
And it's nice and long.
We have a very sharp.
In honor of Piper's birthday, we will be talking about none other than the Gray Man,
Yeah.
the werewolf of Wisteria, the Brooklyn vampire, the moon maniac, the boogeyman, Mr. Albert Fish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no. So
I saw lightning strike. The
goes-
windows went. You leave those open?
no.
I'm kidding.
So, Albert Fish was an American serial killer, rapist, and child molester, and cannibal who committed at least 3 child murders between July 1924 and June 1928. Fish was a suspect in at least 10 murders during his lifetime, although he only confessed to 3 murders that police were able to trace to a known homicide. He also confessed to stabbing at least 2 people. Like, after everything he does, like, yeah, I stabbed a couple people. Like, that's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like,
if he's gonna be
duh.
in jail forever, maybe he'll sleep better at night confessing. So it's just more selfish than it is just in a lot of ways, for sure.
Fish once boasted that he had children in every state, and at one time stated his number of victims was about 100. However, it is not known whether he was referring to rapes or cannibalization, nor is it known if the statement was truthful. Fish was apprehended on December 13th, 1934, and put on trial for the kidnapping and murder of Grace Budd. He was convicted and executed by electric chair on January 16th, 1936, at the age of 65. And we will get into his life and all his disgusting behavior.
Yup.
Why don't you start us off, Piper?
Mr. Grandfather figure, the ads in the newspaper.
I will be your grandfather figure.
Grace Budd.
Put your tiny hand in mine.
Because I know a lot. I know a lot about this
I
story
will-
and his killings and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
And the reason why is because there's this band that I love, the Number 12 Looks Like You,
okay.
and shouts out to Number 12. They're also from Jersey.
They listen
Fucking
all the time.
insane.
Big listeners.
Big listeners. In
Big listeners
yeah.
of not just Coffee and Scream, but they follow Chris.
John Carroll is actually the real Gary Busey on the show. I just want to say
No.
that.
Really?
Sorry, John Carroll.
Oh.
It's all right.
But they're fucking amazing, and they have an intermission on one of their albums, and it's a narration. It's charged.
Charged.
Ooh, chimney.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a narration of the letter that was sent to Grace Budd's mother.
It's fucked up.
And not to derail, I'm sure we'll get into it, but she was like illiterate, right? And it had to be read to her in court.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
beyond. But go on.
And 5, 6, 7, 8.
Albert Fish was born Hamilton Howard Fish in Washington, D.C. on May 19th, 1870 to Randall Fish and Ellen Frances Howell. Fish's father was American or of English ancestry, and his mother was a Scots-Irish American. His father was 43 years older than his mother, and age 75 at the time of his birth. Fish was his family's youngest child and had 3 living siblings, Walter, Annie, and Edwin. He wished to be known as Albert after a dead sibling to escape the nickname Ham and Eggs that he was given at an orphanage in which he spent much of his childhood. That's rough, bro.
Ham and eggs.
It's not worse than like Squirt. Did you guys watch The Boys?
Yeah.
You
Christ.
guys in the mood for some tiramisu after your mommy?
After Ham and Eggs? I got room.
You got room?
Hell
You
yeah.
got room
Mike.
after the Zen butthole.
Okay.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Never mind.
Piper, keep reading.
Fish's family had a history of mental illness. His uncle had mania. One of his brothers was confined in a state mental hospital, and a paternal half-brother suffered from schizophrenia, and his sister Annie was diagnosed with a mental affliction. 3 other relatives were diagnosed with mental illnesses, and his mother had oral and or visual hallucinations. Sounds like a
What is an oral
very
hallucination?
interesting.
Wait, think about that.
Is it just like you say shit, you have no idea what's coming out of
Your mouth doesn't know what it's saying. My mouth saw something crazy.
That's
What?
crazy.
It's like, what the fuck?
Or you just taste things that's not there.
That's a good point.
Maybe.
Banana bread.
Oh.
Oh, my brother's texting me again about asking me if
If we're talking about Albert Fish,
no,
he's like, my ears ringing.
My brother always texts me like at random intervals. I never know when it's gonna be. If he could beat Bigfoot in a fight with a katana, like,
sure can.
like
Yeah, we talked about the katana thing,
Thank
and
you.
I you know,
All right, let's finish.
but yeah,
I don't know. I
but-
think you could. I think it's possible.
yeah, it's very
But you
true.
need to take the fucking. You need to
do.
high commitment.
I do.
Because yeah, sure he's furry, but I've seen them
Yeah.
cut through a bunch of yoga mats. You ever see a katana go right through a yoga mat?
Yeah.
Rolled up.
But on October 16th, 1875, Fish's father, a fertilizer manufacturer and former riverboat captain, suffered a fatal heart attack on the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad station. His mother then put him into St. John's Orphanage in Washington, D.C., where he was frequently physically abused. However, Fish began to enjoy the physical pain brought by the beatings. In 1880, Fish's mother secured a government job and was able to remove him from the orphanage. In 1882, at age 12, Fish began a relationship with a telegraph boy. The youth introduced Fish to such practices as drinking urine and eating feces.
That's
You can't drink
Yeah.
feces and eat urine. I
Wait.
guess it makes sense. Checks out.
yeah, gross.
Fish began visiting public baths where he could watch other boys undress, spending a great portion of his weekends on these
Fucking little
visits.
creep.
And I got a piece of tiramisu in front of me.
Yeah.
Throughout his life, he would write obscene letters to women whose names he acquired from the classified advertising and matrimonial agencies. Nice.
Like, all right, yeah. Enough about like eating shit and all that stuff.
Drinking
Eat-
piss.
Yeah, eat your tiramisu.
Huh. All right.
Albert Fish made it.
There was
That's crazy
there was
work.
something- now, when you said the okay, can I two things?
Yeah.
One, the abuser. I mean, it's cyclical. It happens to a lot of people. It's not just these 2 instances. But it made me think of Carl Panzram.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole, I like the pain now. Was that, do you think he was like, was that its Stockholm syndrome or some kind of defense mechanism? Defense
Maybe.
mechanism turned
Probably.
offensive vice?
Or
Where,
are they
like,
lying just to you know what I mean?
get him to
Is he-
stop? Because I mean, I'll tell you
Maybe.
what, there was that one stand-up comedian, I forget who it was, but the easiest way to stop getting beat by your parents is to pretend you like it.
No.
You know, and I was like,
That's-
"Ow!"
that's
I was like,
fucked.
"All right!" Like,
That's
you know,
fucked.
but that is, I don't know. Maybe that was a defense mechanism, or maybe he, I don't know,
Yeah.
until it just fucking rewired his circuits into this is exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
You know, but that sounds like a defense mechanism if you ask me.
It could be.
Yeah.
Because why? You know, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to his early adulthood and criminal history. By 1890, at age 20, Fish moved to New York City. There, he engaged in male prostitution and began molesting and raping boys, mostly less than 6 years old.
Oh.
In 1898,
It doesn't sound like a prostitute. Like,
that
how much
that's
money could a
yeah.
little boy have?
no, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think a little no.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
How many lemonade
no,
stands were there?
I don't think those things were like. I think he was doing prostitution and also
He was walking and
doing-
chewing gum.
gross. Yeah. In 1898, Fish's mother arranged a marriage for him with Anna Mary Hoffman, who was 9 years his junior. They had 6 children: Albert, Anna, Gertrude, Eugene, John, and Henry Fish. In 1903, Fish was arrested for grand larceny and convicted and incarcerated in Sing Sing prison. Fish later recounted an incident in which a male lover took him to a wax museum where he was fascinated by a bisection of a human penis, and subsequently became obsessed with sexual mutilation.
I'm eating.
It's fine. Several years later, around 1910, Fish was working in Wilmington, Delaware, when he met a 19-year-old man named Thomas Bedden. I did not make that. That's from the grocery store.
As far as I'm concerned, you made it.
Thank you. He took Bedden to where he was staying, and the two began a sadomasochistic relationship. It is unclear whether or not the sadomasochism was consensual on Bedden's part, but Fish's later confession implied that Bedden was intellectually disabled.
I think most people that are into that are intellectually disabled.
We don't kink shame.
That's not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
We here at Coffee and Scream do not kink shame.
What is done between
No,
two
there's certain things where you can. There's a limit. There is a limit to everything.
Unless it's illegal or
It's gonna hurt
inherently disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or what about the needles thing? That you don't think that's the fucking limit?
I mean, that's
a fucking limit.
Listen, if you
the
want,
needle in the groin, and there's not just one.
okay,
There's
listen.
not two
If you
either.
want to do that, that's fine. No one else needs to know about it, though. Don't. That should.
That is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't say that shit's okay. I can't say, hey,
Well-
you're into that, that's fine. No, you're sick, you need help. You should not be shoving 120 something needles into your groin.
I think everyone would pretty much agree with
Fuck
that.
me running.
Yeah. Okay. After 10 days, Fish took Bedden to an old farmhouse where he tortured him over 2 weeks. Fish eventually tied Bedden up and cover your ears, Chris. Fish eventually tied Bedden up and cut off his penis. I shall never forget his scream or the look he gave me, Fish later recalled. He originally intended to kill Bedden, cut up his body, and take it home, but he feared the hot weather would draw attention. Instead, Fish poured peroxide over the wound, wrapped it in Vaseline-covered handkerchief, left a $10 bill, kissed Bedden goodbye, and left.
Oh, how nice.
Took the first train I could get
Oh
back.
my God.
Yeah, took the.
Piper! I thought I would have said something like that. I didn't even get a chance to. I didn't even take a deep breath.
Jesus. All right.
That's
Took
awesome.
first train I could get back home. Never heard what became of him or tried to find out, Fish recalled. So it was like a wham bam. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Wham bam.
Wham bam, needle time. You know what this is? Talk about finding a needle in a haystack.
Instead of hammer time, it's needle time.
Needle time.
The doctors are like,
No.
they're like the prison doctors are like, this is gonna take fucking forever. But
it's like-
it's just like he just tells his wife, he's like, yeah, put it in the microwave.
What was that game where you would put like it's like the sticks and then the marbles and you have to pull out a stick
Oh,
and see if a marble
what is that
drops?
game? What is that game?
Like you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Yeah.
Like
you
you
pull
pull
the little rods out
whoever-
and the marbles fall. What the fuck is that game? It's killing me now.
Someone please message me on Twitter if you know what the name of that game is. I'm not gonna Google it because I'll forget.
Oh, this is gonna you fuck me. You fuck my
I'm
life up.
sorry.
You might as well have stuck needles in my groin. Oh my God, they do it, but it's Albert. You're pulling them out of Albert Fish's. Is that what you were talking
Like
about?
Operation?
Yeah,
Like
no.
you make that game an Albert Fish version.
No.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No.
You're pulling the needles out of his groin, and then the marbles fall, and the more marbles at the end is his prison sentence, and you want to really put him away.
Like Operation?
You need the most marbles.
Like,
I don't, dude. That's
crazy.
crazy that I
No.
don't remember what the
what
fuck
the fuck
game
is that game? Kerplunks? Is it
Was it
Kerplunks?
Kerplunk? Maybe just Kerplunk.
Ker-
But I'm thinking of Plinko,
All
but
right,
that's not
Piper.
Plinko.
I gotta Google it. I'm sorry.
All right,
God
I'll keep-
damn it.
I'll keep him busy. Guys, Albert,
Okay.
this is Chris's version.
Chris's.
Albert Fish was hungry, a little too hungry, and he went down to Wisteria Cottage, and he said, hey,
I am so fucking smart. I'm
it's
sorry.
Kerplunk, isn't it?
It's Kerplunk.
Oh, that's such a good
Hell
game.
yeah.
That's a good game. Next episode,
all
we're
right.
doing Albert Fish Part 2.
We're gonna. That really looks
Kerplunkaloo.
like it could have been an Albert Fish game.
He would be all over that.
We're gonna post that.
Or that'd be all inside of him.
Alright.
You're like, dude, like I just bought this game. Where are all these rods? Where are the little sticks? And
Alright.
he's just looking out the window.
Oh, they make a big one.
You just catch him in the act and you're like, Albert.
Albert.
I just took a screenshot. I'll post it doing Albert Fish today.
Oh,
Okay.
Kerplunk. That's so deep.
Nice.
Someone's gonna get that.
Someone will know. They'll know.
Oh man.
Don't worry,
You ever see the X-ray? That should be the fucking Instagram
Oh.
post. Is the goddamn X-ray of his grind.
Okay. Anywho, in January 1917, Fish's wife left him for John Straub, a handyman who boarded with the Fish family.
I was gonna say a tailor.
The fucking needles. Fish was subsequently forced to raise his children as a single parent. After his arrest, Fish told a newspaper that when his wife left him, she took nearly every possession the family owned, except the needles. I'm like,
Where's my sewing kit?
you got cookies, bitch.
A pesty hole.
Yeah, she's like, oh, she actually had the cookies. She thought she took the sewing kit.
No, dude.
Okay.
Where are my cookies?
I don't know. Fist.
They also found a fist.
No. Fish began having auditory hallucinations. He once wrapped himself in a carpet, saying he was following the instructions of John the Apostle. It was about this time that Fish began to indulge in self-harm by embedding needles into his groin and abdomen.
That
Yeah.
dude.
After his arrest, x-rays revealed that Fish had at least 29 needles lodged in his pelvic region.
29.
29.
Why did I think there was so much more?
You don't think 29 is a lot?
Well, no,
I mean,
it wasn't 120.
There should be 0.
There
Like,
should be 0.
Okay. He also hit himself repeatedly with a nail-studded paddle and inserted wool doused with lighter fluid into his anus and set it up.
Dude, just
and set
try
it
a
alight.
Zin.
Just try a Zin.
Just try a fucking Zin, dude. Mike, you throwing Molotovs up your ass?
do what
Yeah, I threw
everyone
him
else
through a
is doing.
fucking- I
tried
him
to
through a
turn
business.
himself into a fucking Roman candle. Like,
Do
He wasn't
what-
even Roman.
do what everyone else was doing, and just do crack cocaine.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, back then, I don't
Like-
know, they were doing like ether.
He took
yeah,
crack literally.
like
But like,
Oh, ether was probably nuts. That's
I-
the Quaalude of the.
I want to try Quaaludes.
I mean, fuck me running. There's.
I'll
this
tell
is
you
my
what.
thing. It's got to be bullshit. There's no fucking way that there's no one that knows how to make Quaaludes anymore. I don't believe that.
is that
It's-
why they disappeared, or were they just like bad?
Well, that's what they say about acid. Like, oh, all the
Is
good
that what
acid was
killed-
made in the 70s. Maybe that's true. I
Is
don't
that
know.
what killed Marilyn Monroe? Quaaludes?
I don't know actually.
It
I
might-
think that was. I think
Then-
she was. A,
okay,
you think
okay.
she was a fentanyl ferret?
No,
One of those?
absolutely not.
I don't
All right.
know what. Yeah, well, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. While Fish was never thought to have physically attacked or abused his children, he did encourage them and their friends to paddle his buttocks with the same nail-studded paddle he used to abuse himself.
so still sexual assault.
So,
He turns around and goes, "Yeah, it's the same paddle."
I mean, just kind of like, no. You know you want her.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, I was over at
He's like,
little-
"You want to be better? You want to get
I
better
was-
at ping pong or not?"
I was over at little Jimmy's house, and his dad gave me this paddle, and he made me spank him. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
That is,
Yeah, if my kid
supposing
ever
they
came
said
home-
it. Well, he probably fucking brainwashed him. Like, if you tell your dad, he's gonna think you're
Like if
fucking
my
gay.
kid ever came home and told me that, I would be calling the police and
Yeah.
probably like the Family Guy scene where it's like Peter with the shotgun. Like I just want to talk to him.
That's why you gotta give your kids Oreos and be like,
Just
if
wanna
anyone
talk to
tells
him.
you not to tell me, that's when you tell me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If they don't tell you not to tell me, still tell me. But if they tell you not to tell me, you bet your
Definitely
ass.
tell me.
You got. Think about this. It's Friday night. It's comedy night. You have no material. You're racing against the clock. You're gonna come home and you're gonna put on a show and you're gonna tell me everything you got on your mind. Think about that. You're gonna tell me everything about Mr. Howard.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Howard. What was
yeah.
his real name? Hamilton.
Ham and eggs.
Wait, hang on.
That's why.
Great.
Why did that bother him? Unless someone said that during like abuse.
Hang on.
What? Okay.
Oh, she did the Sprite challenge.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also like green eggs and ham, but like mean eggs and ham. Like I don't know.
Because
Like,
you have kids.
Yeah.
Will kids like tell you things in confidence if it's like a game? 'Cause the same way predators take advantage of them is like if you're
I'm sure
trying to get through to
every
your kid.
parent has a different relationship with their kids. My kids know like they could tell me anything, and like I will swing into action,
Mm-hmm.
and I will,
And it's garnering an environment of trust and
Yeah,
of like
because, like-
openness and like you can tell me anything. Like sure, I'll be pissed. I'm human. If you like broke
I will-
something stupid.
I would always say I would rather you just come to me first and let me try to help you than you try to cover anything up, and then it gets worse and snowballs. Like
Yeah,
let me
bro.
know, like, and
Because the longer a problem sits, the worse it gets.
yeah, they also know like that it would end immediately if something terrible was like because I would
Because it's scary to think about, dude.
It's
Like,
being a
even,
parent
like,
is scary.
even kids witnessing something crazy, they don't want to tell their parents about, like a murder or a fucking like anything.
No,
well, they
yeah.
know
Like
I'm
fucking-
a ghoul. They'll be like, "Mom, guess what I saw?"
Dude, I saw it. You know you're a ghoul?
Yeah.
That's awesome. A ghoul.
I'm a ghoul. All right, go ahead,
All right.
Piper. Why don't you talk
Yeah,
about
this-
his escalation?
I mean, this is-
Yes.
You know,
Let's.
this is
So, around 1919, Fish stabbed an intellectually disabled boy in Georgetown. He often chose people who were either mentally disabled or African American as his victims, after later explaining that he assumed these people would not be missed when killed. Fish would later claim to have occasionally paid boys to procure other children for him.
Ugh.
Oh, so like a fucking what's
like
his
fucking
name?
prisoners. You ever watch Prisoners?
They wouldn't be missed. Like, as if someone's gonna miss you. You fucking nail paddle wielding
Yeah.
pervert.
And of
You're
course, I mean,
disgusting. You're
not-
disgusting.
Not every murderer, like, sure, not every murderer exploits the weakest, but it is,
It seems-
it is
it happens-
like, I'm talking over fucking
No,
whelming
it's
they
majority.
pick
the-
the most vulnerable.
it's
Most
the
vulnerable
majority.
population. The ones that can't
Terrible.
talk are the worst. The ones that can't, like,
Yeah.
corroborate a story or
But-
can't, like, can
Yeah.
even be,
Yeah.
like, held guilty or non-guilty in court, or, like, even, you know,
One of my kids is
viable source.
One of my kids is nonverbal, and it's my biggest fear is someone doing something
Yeah.
to him or hurting him, and him not being able to tell me. Anywho, go ahead, Piper. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Fish tortured, mutilated, and murdered young children with his implements of hell: a meat cleaver, a butcher knife, and a small handsaw. On July 11th, 1924.
My birthday.
Yeah, great.
Oh my god.
Fish found
Yeah, tiramisu again. You got another
Yeah, right.
tiramisu.
I too was born in 1924.
no, you weren't. Fish found 8-year-old Beatrice Keel playing alone in her parents' farm on Staten Island, New York. He offered her money to come and help him look for a rhubarb. She
those
was
are
about
good.
to leave the farm when her mother chased Fish away. Fish left but returned later to the Keel's barn, where he tried to sleep but was discovered by Beatrice's father and forced to leave. In 1924, the 54-year-old Fish, suffering from psychosis, felt that God was commanding him to torture and sexually mutilate children.
No, that was God.
Like
I'm
what?
sorry. I'm sorry.
Like why? Yeah, no.
That's but that was there no like I mean, odds. Let's just say he wasn't a big health guy.
Right.
He wasn't like, maybe I should go to the doctor.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I should go to a psychiatrist.
Well, also,
'cause
it,
I'm hearing Daffy Duck tell me to go fucking
Also,
sleep in a
like,
sleep in a barn.
there wasn't all that like access to mental health, like
No, it was like
help
you're gonna get
in-
a lobotomy.
It was
You're
all the way
gonna,
up the
Yeah.
mountain.
you're gonna get electric shock,
And
or you're gonna have to
especially-
take a real hot bath.
Listen, you want electric
Yeah.
now or later?
and
Correct.
Because you're
especially
getting it.
and especially even more so because he was a man, because especially in this time they were pressured by the patriarchy and society just to be like oh, like you have to be the breadwinner, like you have to take everything to the chest and all that, and it's
No, somewhere
yeah,
else.
it just
All right. The
yeah
side-
You gotta take it to the groin.
but yeah
But what I'm trying to say is, okay, go on. Sorry.
Shortly before he abducted Grace Budd, Fish attempted to test his implements of hell on a 10-year-old child he had been molesting named Cyril Quinn. Quinn and his friend were playing box ball on a sidewalk when Fish asked them if they had eaten lunch. When they said that they had not, he invited them into his apartment for sandwiches. While the two boys were wrestling on Fish's bed, they dislodged his mattress. Underneath was a knife and a small handsaw and a meat cleaver. They became frightened and ran out of the apartment. Despite already being married, Fish married Estella Wilcox on February 6, 1930, in Waterloo, New York. They divorced after only 1 week. Fish was arrested in May 1930 for sending an obscene letter to a woman who answered an advertisement for a maid. Following that arrest and another in 1931, he was sent to the Bellevue Hospital for observation.
On May 25th, 1928, Fish saw a classified advertisement in Sunday edition of the New York World that read, "Young man, 18, wishes position in country. Edward Budd, 406 West 15th Street." On May 28th, Fish, then 58 years old, visited the Budd family in Manhattan under the pretense of hiring Edward. He later confessed that he planned to tie Edward up, mutilate him, and leave him to bleed to death. Fish introduced himself as Frank Howard, a farmer from Farmingdale, New York. He promised to hire Budd and his friend, and he said he would send for them in a few days. Fish failed to... Fuck.
That's right. When you said Howard, I thought of Clint Howard.
Oh, God.
Hello, my name is Clint Howard.
He's also horrifying.
I love Clint.
Howard, my neighbor.
Clint, if you're listening. Howard Clint. That's his last name.
Fish failed to show up, but he sent a telegram to the Budd family apologizing and set a later date. When Fish returned, he met Edward's younger sister, 10-year-old Gracie Budd. He apparently shifted his attentions towards Grace and quickly made up a story about having to attend his niece's birthday party. He persuaded the parents, Delia Bridget Flanagan and Albert Francis Budd Sr., to let Grace accompany him to the party that evening. Fish subsequently took Grace to an abandoned house he had previously picked out to use for the murder of his next victim, Wisteria Cottage at 359 Mountain Road, located in East Irvington neighborhood of Irvington, New York. There, Fish strangled her to death, then decapitated and dismembered her body, and ate most of the remains over the next several days. Ugh, fucking nasty.
It's beyond.
The police arrested 66-year-old Superintendent Charles Edward Pope on September 5th, 1930, as a suspect in Grace's disappearance, accused by Pope's estranged wife.
I didn't hear about this.
I didn't. Yeah,
This
no.
is red herring bullshit.
I guess, yeah. Pope spent 108 days in jail between his arrest and trial. On December 22nd, 1930, he was found not guilty.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Was he charged with like negligence? Was he involved in the slightest, or they just got
wife-
the wrong guy?
They just had the wrong guy.
The town is probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, same thing with like think about it. Like if you're.
But why did his wife think to accuse him? Like I don't
know. That's
I
a
don't
good
understand.
Point.
Yeah.
You know, instead of this, I mean, he was also a foreign entity. It's not like he's part of the family.
He also likes needles.
Yeah.
That guy?
No,
The Pope?
I'm only kidding.
No, because I remember.
No one knows about Albert's needle fetish besides Albert at this point and the neighborhood kids.
Yes.
I was gonna say I remember reading a thing on him, and he had like a pen pal that was also like sick to the bone.
Did he?
Yes, and that's where he got the idea for cannibalism the first time. Did you ever hear about this?
No.
Maybe can you look that
right.
up by any
And-
chance? I don't want to waste like your time.
We will. I don't want to lose where we are.
Okay,
So
but it like yeah, it's.
I'm gonna have to
shocking.
look into that.
I remember this, but
Yeah.
my memory could be foggy.
In November 1934, an anonymous letter sent to Grace's parents ultimately led the police to Fish. Bud's mother was illiterate and could not read the letter herself, so she had her son read it to her. The unaltered letter reads, "My dear Mrs. Budd, in 1894, a friend of mine shipped as a deckhand on the steamer Tacoma, Captain John Davis. They sailed from San Francisco for Hong Kong, China. On arriving there, he and two others went ashore and got drunk. When they returned, the boat was gone. At that time, there was a famine in China. Meat of any kind was from $1 to $3 a pound. So great was the suffering among the very poor that all children under 12 were sold for food in order to keep others from starving. A boy or girl under 14 was not safe in the street. You could go in any shop and ask for steak, chops, or stew meat. Part of the naked body of a boy or girl would be brought out, and just what you wanted cut from it.
ugh, gross.
A boy or girl's behind, which is the sweetest part of the body and sold as a veal cutlet, brought the highest price. John stayed there so long he acquired a taste for human flesh. On his return to New York, he stole two boys, 1, 7, 1, 11. And took them to his home and stripped them naked, tied them in a closet, then burned everything they had on. Several times every Every day and night, he spanked them, tortured them to make their meat good and tender. First, he killed the 11-year-old boy because he had the fattest ass and, of course, the most meat on it. Every part of his body was cooked and eaten except the head, bones, and guts. He was roasted in the oven, all of his ass, boiled,
All
broiled,
right.
fried, and
I gotta step in. I'm stepping out now. I've stepped.
The little boy was next, went the same way. At that time, I was living at 409 East 100th Street, near Right Side. He told me so often how good human flesh was, I made up my mind to taste it. On Sunday, June 3rd, 1928, I called you on 406 West 15th Street, bought you pot cheese strawberries. We had lunch. Grace sat in my lap and kissed me. I made up my mind to eat her. On the pretense of taking her to a party, you said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house in Westchester.
What are you thinking?
I had already
I would be like,
picked
stop
out.
reading the letter.
What party? What party's good enough? Who's going to be there?
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen? And he's playing the harp? What the fuck?
When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I went upstairs and stripped all my clothes off. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her. Then I hid in a closet until she was in the room. When she saw me all naked, she began to cry and tried to run down the stairs. I grabbed her and she said she would tell her mama. First, I stripped her naked. How she did kick, bite, and scratch. I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to the rooms, cook and eat it. How sweet and tender her little ass was roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not fuck her though. I could have. I wished. She died a virgin.
Ugh, he's so fucking gross.
And her mom gets to hear this and like
No, like
told by the son.
Told by the son. Yeah, her son.
And which means did he? I mean, come on. I'm not even
Like I
at the end of the day, man, does
Yeah.
it fucking matter who read it first?
It really-
Police investigated the letter, and although the story concerning Captain Davis and the famine in Hong Kong could not be verified, the part of the letter concerning the murder of Grace was found to be accurate in its description of the kidnapping and subsequent events, though it was impossible to confirm whether or not Fish had actually eaten parts of Grace's body.
The letter was delivered in an envelope that had a small hexagonal emblem with the letters NYPCBA, representing New York Private Chauffeurs Benevolent Association. A janitor at the company told the police he had taken some of the stationery home but left it at his rooming house at 200 East 52nd Street when he moved out. The landlady of the rooming house said that Fish checked out of that room a few days earlier. She said that Fish's son sent him money and asked her to hold his next check for him. Detective William King, the chief investigator for the case, waited outside the room until Fish returned. He agreed to go to headquarters for questioning, then brandished a razor blade. King disarmed Fish and took him to the police headquarters. Fish made no attempt to...
He whispers in his ear, "You're too old."
Yeah.
Nice try.
Yeah, nice try, Grandpa.
Yeah, nice little blade. What, are you going to open a letter?
Yeah.
A little letter I heard you wrote? Hands
Yeah.
behind your fucking back. And I put the cuffs up. I'm telling you right now. See, this is the thing.
You're spitting everywhere.
I've been biting my lip all day.
Yeah.
And it hurts. And it fucking sucks. And I keep biting it.
Why do you keep biting it?
Because when I'm talking, it's just there now.
It's just...
When you see, the thing is like, I never realized it. You know, Jim from The Office, he bites his lip. He keeps biting his lip. Eventually, he just goes the fuck home. Not that I'm going to go home. I'm just saying,
Right.
once you bite it once, now
Sure.
it's bigger. Now you're biting it more. And it gets bigger.
Would you like the last bite of tiramisu?
Is that a joke? Because I'm okay, but that is really
Piper,
good. That
would
is
you
really
like
good.
the last bite?
I am good, but thank you.
Stuff it in your fucking hat.
I made that hat.
You made the tiramisu as well.
I'm sorry.
Made the
keep-
money
It's really
that bought
good.
it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I keep
I mean-
burping. I'm terrible.
Just give yourself a tilt.
All right.
Test out how good that hat is.
All right. So Fish made no attempt to deny the murder of Grace Budd, saying that he meant to go to the house to kill her brother Edward. Fish said it never even entered his head to rape the girl, but he later claimed to his attorney that while kneeling on Grace's chest and strangling her, he did have 2 involuntary ejaculations. This information was used at trial to make the claim the kidnapping was sexually motivated, thus avoiding any mention of cannibalism.
That's still sexual assault to me.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
no.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
No.
The fact that like you're naked and just like
It's
That
like you
alone,
little
that
freak of
alone.
nature.
she had to see you naked. That was like one of her last like visuals. Like that's terrible.
Yeah, and,
That's
and it's
assault.
like it's fucking him. You've seen pictures of him, right?
Yeah, gross. They don't call him the gray man for
Jesus
nothing.
Christ. Oh, he was gray.
He was gray.
That is fucking beyond, dude. Thank God. Well, you know, history can be black and white and gray, but this guy was sick, right?
Yeah.
This guy was sick, right? I don't even know. Do I have to ask that?
No, you don't.
It's beyond. I remember reading about him, and I remember hearing that fucking interlude song, the narration, and I was just like, "Who the fuck, man? Like, people are sick." And I usually stay away from this kind of shit.
Yeah.
I know you do.
But during the night of July 14th, 1924, 9-year-old Francis McDonnell was reported missing after he failed to return home after playing catch with his friends in Port Richmond, Staten Island. A search was organized and his body was found hanging by a tree in a wooded area near his home. He had been sexually assaulted and then strangled with his suspenders. According to an autopsy, McDonnell had also suffered extensive lacerations to his legs and abdomen and his left hamstring had almost entirely been stripped of its flesh. Fish refused to claim responsibility for this, although he later stated that he intended to castrate the boy, but fled when he heard someone approaching the area. McDonnell's friend told the police that he was taken by an elderly man with a gray mustache. A neighbor also told the police he observed the boy with a similar-looking man walking along a grassy path into the nearby woods. Francis's mother, Anna, said she saw the same man earlier that day, telling reporters he came shuffling down the street, mumbling to himself and making queer motions with his hands. I saw his thick gray hair and his drooping gray mustache. Everything about him seemed faded and gray. This description resulted in the mysterious stranger becoming known as the Gray Man. The McDonnell murder remained unsolved until the murder of Bud, when several eyewitnesses, among them the Staten Island farmer Hans Keel, positively identified Fish as the odd stranger seen around Port Richmond on the day of McDonnell's disappearance. Richmond County District Attorney Thomas Walsh announced his intention to seek an indictment against Fish for the boy's murder. At first, Fish denied the charges. It was only in March 1935, after the conclusion of the trial for the Bud murder and his confession to the killing of Billy Gaffney, that he confirmed to investigators that he had also raped and murdered McDonnell. When the McDonnell confession was made public, the New York Daily Mirror wrote the disclosure solidified Fish's reputation as the most vicious child slayer in criminal history.
Oh, what a fucking title, man. Come on.
Yeah.
See, like, I can get behind Goblin Slayer.
Like, when Wendigoon said we should not be giving serial killers cool names like the Moon Maniac and the Campus
See, Moon
Killer.
Maniac is pretty.
Like,
That's fucking wild. See, it would be cool if it was in like a movie. It's a fictional fucking like force of nature, but this is like a real.
There are
dude.
There are a few other victims, but you guys kind of you get the gist of what he's about, right?
yeah.
You can go look it up yourself.
Yeah. This is.
We're gonna jump to the trial and execution because I don't think I can hear anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's safe. I think it's safe to.
Yeah.
Hit the switch on him.
Yeah. So Fish's trial for the murder of Grace Budd began on March 11th, 1935 in White Plains, New York. Frederick P. Close presided as judge, and Westchester County Chief Assistant District Attorney Elbert F. Gallagher was the prosecuting attorney. Fish's defense counsel was James Dempsey, a former prosecutor and the one-time mayor of Peekskill, New York. The trial lasted for 10 days. Fish pleaded insanity and claimed to have heard voices from God telling him to kill children. Several psychiatrists testified about Fish's sexual fetishes, which included sadism and masochism, self-flagellation, exhibitionism, voyeurism, piquerism, cannibalism, coprophagia, urophilia, hematolagnia, pedophilia, necrophilia, and infibulation.
This guy loves Ilias.
Yeah, Dempsey, in his summation, noted that Fish was a psychiatric phenomenon, and that nowhere in legal or medical records was there another individual who possessed so many sexual abnormalities. The defense's chief expert witness was Frederick Wortham. I cannot read today.
No,
it is
Me
fine.
neither. It's okay.
Do you really want to eloquently say all
I
this?
mean, no. Fuck that guy.
It's a little. She's shaky. You know?
A psychiatrist with an emphasis on child development who conducted psychiatric examinations for the New York criminal courts. During 2 days of testimony, Wortham explained Fish's obsession with religion and specifically his preoccupation with the biblical story of Abraham and Isaac, Genesis 22:1-24. Wortham said...
It's a good passage.
I guess. I have no idea. Wortham
says, "Thou shalt not be sick to the bone."
Yeah. Wortham said that Fish believed that similarly, sacrificing a boy would be penance for his own sins, and that even if the act itself was wrong, angels would prevent it if God did not approve. Fish attempted the sacrifice once before, but was thwarted when a car drove past. Edward Budd was the next intended victim, but he turned out to be larger than expected, so he settled on Grace. Although he knew Grace was female, it is believed that Fish perceived her as a boy. Wortham then detailed Fish's cannibalism, which in his mind he associated with communion. The last question Dempsey...
Body of Christ.
Jesus, yeah, no.
Wow, this is...
Yeah.
I didn't know this was like 7.
The last question Dempsey asked Wortham was 15,000
Like
words
27.
long. Detailed Fish's life and ended with asking how the doctor considered his mental condition based on his life. Wortham simply answered, "He is insane." Gallagher cross-examined Wortham on whether Fish knew the difference between right and wrong. He responded that he did know, but that it was a perverted knowledge based on his opinions of sin, atonement, and religion, and thus was an insane knowledge.
So was the spankings a self-flagellation kind of deal?
Yeah.
Like a biblical repentance?
Could be, yeah. The defense called 2 more psychiatrists to support Wortham's findings. The first of the 4 rebuttal witnesses was Menace Gregory, a former manager of the Bellevue Hospital, where Fish was treated during 1930. He testified that Fish was abnormal but sane. Under cross-examination, Dempsey asked if coprophilia, urophilia, and pedophilia indicated a sane or insane person. Gregory replied that such a person was not mentally sick, and that these were common perversions that were socially perfectly all right, and that Fish was no different from millions of other people, some very prominent and successful, who had the very same perversions.
So who is this saying this?
Bullshit.
Who is saying this?
This is another doctor, a doctor who's rebuting the person who's like, this is...
But it sounds like they're trying to put him away with saying that because he couldn't possibly take the insanity plea. If he's completely sane, then he would meet the electric chair. So it sounds like this guy was trying to put him the fuck away. Does that make sense? Because saying, I mean, like, it's fucking psycho to say that there's nothing wrong with his brain.
This was also...
And the pedophilia shit, that is not okay. But if he was trying to put him the fuck away...
Well, no, because whether he was deemed insane or not, this was before that case that said that insane people couldn't be executed. So
so this wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
so insane people could have been executed back then.
Okay. At this time in history, whatever your trial said, like if it was vicious enough, like if what you did was vicious enough, like you gotta go.
You gotta go.
We gotta
you're
put
done.
you down.
Like,
and so you don't. Yeah. So that wasn't a.
I think
that wasn't a putting him away.
I think that didn't come about until like the 60s, 70s, or whatever.
So this doctor was a quack. He's a fucking quack.
Very actually recent, like in terms of history, very terrifyingly recent in terms of history. That
you could even have the insanity plea.
That landmark case became a thing. So.
So this guy was just out of his fucking mind, is what you're saying.
Yes.
This guy was just a bad take, big time bad take.
Bad take.
Check his internet history, whatever that was back then.
Let me bring it home. All right. The next witness was resident physician at the Tombs, Perry Lichtenstein. Dempsey, don't, Christ.
I didn't even.
You looked at me.
I pinched my. What did I do immediately after? I looked down and I pinched my eyebrow and I kept it to myself.
Okay. Dempsey objected to a doctor with no training in psychiatry testifying on the issue of sanity, but Justice Close overruled on the basis that a jury could decide what weight to give a prison doctor. When asked whether Fish's causing himself pain indicated a mental condition, Lichtenstein replied, "That is not masochism, as he was only punishing himself to get sexual gratification." The next witness, Charles Lambert.
Well, let me guess. Prison time was in the grand scheme self-abuse. It wasn't the kids. It wasn't Grace Budd.
Sure.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Tough titty.
The next witness, Charles Lambert, testified that coprophilia was a common practice and that religious cannibalism may be psychopathic, but was a matter of taste. And yeah, I know.
That's
I
insane.
mean, did they mean to write that?
I don't know. And not evidence of psychosis. The last witness, James Vavasseur, Velociraptor, repeated Lambert's opinion. Another defense witness was Mary Nicholas, Fish's 17-year-old stepdaughter. She described how Fish taught her and her brothers and sisters several games involving overtones of masochism and child molestation. None of the jurors doubted that Fish was insane, but ultimately, as one later explained, they felt he should be executed anyway. They found him to be sane and guilty, and the judge sentenced the defendant to death by electrocution. Fish arrived at prison in March 1935 and was executed on January 16th, 1936 in the electric chair at Sing Sing.
Not too bad. Timing.
No,
I mean,
that was...
it could be quicker for sure.
He entered the chamber at 11:06 and was pronounced dead 3 minutes later.
I think they should have an electric chair in the courtroom. You get found guilty, the chair's right there. Save time.
Well, for people like Albert Fish, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not just any old...
I mean, I got a speeding ticket. Sue me. Well, don't. Don't.
don't.
I got to pay for the speeding ticket.
All right. He was buried in the Sing Sing prison cemetery. Fish is said to have helped the executioner position the electrodes on his body. His last words reportedly, "I don't even know why I'm here." According to one...
Yikes, said the executioner.
According to one witness present, it took 2 jolts before Fish died, creating the rumor that the apparatus was short-circuited by the needles Fish had inserted into his body.
Get the fuck out of here.
These rumors were later regarded as untrue, as Fish reportedly died in the same fashion and time frame as the others in the electric chair. At a meeting with reporters after the execution, Fish's lawyer, James Dempsey, revealed that he was in possession of his client's final statement. This amounted to several pages of handwritten notes that Fish apparently penned in the hours just prior to his death. When pressed by the assembled journalists to reveal the document's contents, Dempsey refused, stating, "I will never show it to anyone. It was the most filthy string of obscenities that I've ever read." And that is the story of Albert Fish.
The disgusting,
Jesus.
gross
Old
story.
needle dick Fish.
Needle dick.
Yeah, nasty.
Bobby Boucher. I wish I had a Bobby Boucher Russian light speed at Albert Fish. It would have fucking folded him in half.
What's the bully's name of The Simpsons? Like,
Nelson?
Yeah, I just want Nelson to just like point at him and go,
Yeah.
Fuck, that is now I
gross.
really did think there was a couple hundred needles. But if you look at the X-ray, you're like, yeah, that's 100.
It would probably look like a lot.
Because I mean, one needle to the groin,
Yeah.
might as well be 100.
like I said earlier.
It's in the groin.
I thought you were gonna say one piece of cake.
Oh fuck that.
Like I
Piece of
said,
tiramisu.
Damn it, you fucking bitch. You fucking bitch.
Got you.
All right.
like I said earlier,
Jinx,
the
Amiga.
number of needles in anyone's groin should be 0.
No, it should be 0. But there's that one guy, Albert Fish.
Nasty. Anywho, I think that'll do it for us this week. We've been going for a while.
Yeah, this is.
Do we need a palate cleanser? Do you think?
I believe
What
so.
are you into?
I'm into masochism.
Oh,
and sadism.
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe I might have a nailed paddle. Hey, what's her name?
Agnes.
Broomhilda.
Broomhilda.
Brunhilde.
Agnes, I mean, she's a lady. Agnes is a fine, fancy lady. She's.
Yeah.
I don't know if. Oh man, that's a good point. Maybe it's a cover. It's a beard. You know what a beard is?
Well, here's a, you know what? For a palate cleanser, I will play for you guys.
I did see some movies, by the way.
Oh.
Go play me something.
I will play you guys the video that Chris sent me before he came here today.
Okay, that's just perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll plug the channel too.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Woodworking is often seen as a craft or a trade, but this video of a beautiful wood carving should really make you reconsider it as very much an art. Send this to someone whose vagina has more roast beef than Arby's.
Okay. That is the Simple Consultant on Facebook, and I'm sure he's on other places. And
I love that channel.
that
It's real funny.
made me laugh.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
you like,
yeah,
also,
yeah.
I say, if you like shows about superheroes becoming unhinged, you should watch The Boys and Invincible. They are good shows.
Oh, I gotta watch.
I
I gotta watch
love
Invincible.
those shows.
Yeah, The Boys fucks.
But
I mean, like, let's not get into Termite.
yeah, for
You know what
real.
Termite is, right?
Yeah.
it's not getting
Okie
to him.
dokie.
Yeah.
He'll get into someone else.
If you'd like to support the show, you could find us on buymeacoffee.com/coffee and scream. If you would like to see what we look like, you can find us on patreon.com/coffee and scream for bonus episodes and extra content. Follow us on X at C Scream Pod. That's C the letter Scream Pod. I am It's Just G. That's just with one S. We are also on Instagram.
At Coffee and Scream Pod, and I am Piper A04 over there. Chris?
Guys, twitch.tv/WonderTime Theater, kick.com/WonderTime Theater. We have some pretty big shows coming up. I'm really excited about. I'll tell you guys about off air.
Ooh,
You know?
okay.
And buy us a coffee. Yeah, you know, just
Chris be thirsty.
We do drink a lot of coffee.
We do drink a lot of coffee, but also
I drink like 3 cups a day. Like,
also we
Don't give it. I'm telling you,
We
you
try
might as
to
well save your
deliver-
money than to give it someone
we
else.
try to deliver you the most ridiculous show we can give you every
Yes.
It's
week.
heavy, but it's light.
It's
Yes.
heavy, but it's light, and
Yeah.
there's
Light as a feather, stiff as a.
stiff
board.
as a needle.
no!
Stiff as a
How heavy is this fucking thing?
what was he shoving up his ass and like lighting on fire?
the
Zans?
fucking steel wool.
Not
Oh,
Zans.
stiff.
No, was that
It was
Zans?
wool. It was like fucking. I don't know, Vaseline soaked wool.
I don't, either way.
It was.
Awful.
I didn't hear about that ever.
Oh my!
Everyone's talking about Ozzy Osbourne with the
God.
bat and the fire ants.
No,
He's got some
you
competition.
got something to
I don't got anything.
you got something to bring to the
I got
table
some
and tell people.
Yeah.
I got
Wow.
some sleep to get to. I don't know how I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
Anyway, until next time, lock your doors and stay safe. And happy birthday,
Happy
Piper!
birthday.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you, Gary.
Huh?
Thank you, Gary.
Oh.
All right, let's go.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hop in.
I'm driving.